So I just want to come on this video because it's kind of an after reaction of my first EDMR, eye desensitization, something modulation. And I've heard about this tool technique for a lot of years. And at first I was like, what is that? But it's really, you'll have to investigate it more. But I just want to share, it's really, I feel so far a very positive thing, but I encourage you to investigate it more. Okay, so I have been working with a therapist, and it should be done by a therapist, not on your own. A therapist from Better Health, Dr. Turuk, and I chose her. I liked Better Health because you can choose people with same values or religious belief, like maybe they coach professionals, maybe you want to work on trauma, maybe you want to work on marital stuff, whatever it is. But I particularly chose this therapist because of her Christian values. I wanted someone I was in alignment with and felt very comfortable with. So I have been seeing her since May, and with Better Health help, you spend, and I'll put a link in the description too, so you can look into that yourself. But you spend a certain amount per month and you get so many sessions. So I've been doing weekly sessions, which has been really good after some hard seasons of life. And so my first EDMR session was just a few minutes ago, less than 30 minutes ago. It just ended. And we worked on the cognitive distortion of I'm not enough. So that's something I had been feeling. In particular, I'm going through something right now with like all the things I do, and do I really want to be homeschooling at all? And I'm not enough to homeschool my daughter right now. It's like kind of where I was thinking, and you come up with this picture. And so the picture I came up with was, my daughter, but also books, like all of these books. Kind of one big giant book is what I saw in the middle. So you have this cognitive distortion, which for me was I am not enough, and then you have this image, and then you're watching this screen, and it's basically a dot, and you pick the color of the dot and you pick the background. Mine was like looked like central New York, mountains, early morning, fog. It was so pretty. And then I had like a blue dot, and so the blue dot will go, she will have you think of something, think of the cognitive distortion, and then watch this dot. And then it can go with sound too. So like in my hair, tick, tick, and all the sounds are kind of different every time that she'll do that. And then when you're focusing on that, what are you sensing in your body? What's coming up for you? Maybe it's more images and things like that. So for me, I got a lot of heaviness in my chest, my jaw got tighter. And then my logical mind was like, oh my goodness, this is how we run ourselves into this anxiety attacks or things like that, because when we're focused on like something we're worried about, our physical body is shifting at the same time too. And it just kind of blew my mind because like, ooh, like I am actually physically feeling, and went through that a couple times, and it got deeper and harder, but I told myself, this is actually what so many of us are afraid to feel bad, right? We don't want to feel bad, so we'll do everything to avoid and buffer that feeling, and actually going into the feeling and then letting it come up and then dissipate, right? So, but for this, we took the cognitive or whatever it was called, an image, and then the image changed, and then we switched it to I am enough, and then the same image, right, until the images changed and it got lighter and lighter and lighter. That's it in a nutshell, right? But it was amazing how I had to go through the hard to come out lighter and lighter and better. And by the end, it was not as distressed. The thought of homeschooling or that book or, that thing was not as distressing. Like I wouldn't say, yes, I'm enough now, but it's way lighter on me. It's way lighter. So I can think of like 100 clients who need that. Everyone needs this. It's so powerful. But of course, you do what you need to do, and this should only be done with a clinical, therapist. But here's a couple of other interesting things too. Before I did my session, I knew I needed to use my oils because I knew I wanted to be very grounded. And I had been having some respiratory, interesting enough, the respiratory stuff is gone. I had been having some tightness, and I almost wonder if my body knew what was coming up. I mean, I have been away in a different environment. So I used pine oil, because pine oil is just very grounding. Any fir oils, but I only use Young Living essential oils. So I used pine oil. I thought I was grabbing cedarwood, but I grabbed tangerine, which is very uplifting. Citrus fresh all citrus oils are very uplifting. And then I grabbed brain power, and this has very high in sesquiterpenes. A lot of the oils that are in there, very oxygenating to the brain, very grounding to the brain. So that's what I did before I started my session. And so how did I feel after my session? Well, during it, I told you about that. I felt a little bit tired, like I almost felt relief, like that relief when you're done with a project in there a little bit. I felt, did I feel emotional? I think maybe just a little bit, but I didn't cry or anything. And then afterwards, I just kind of sat. I went and I grounded myself. I don't have it, it's over there, with Valor oil, and I used that on the bottoms of my feet because I just felt I needed some more grounding. A little tapping here on my chest. I laid flat on the ground for a while because I have been depleted in B vitamins from a big event that I just got over. So I was like, I need to do that. Then when I went downstairs, I took some of my Ninja Red antioxidant juice. I took 10 droppers of mineral essence. Again, because I've been depleted and I want my brain and everything to really settle with this session. I would recommend electrolytes, and of course the B vitamins, which are for energy, memory, stamina, mental clarity. And now I definitely feel lighter. I feel more energized, which they said that could happen after a session too. But I feel more spot on too, even just talking about it and processing it. So really love the therapy, but I do think the essential oils help to magnify and actually open up everything to be ready, like to get the brain ready, to get the body grounded, to feel, because you also during the week you'll use two tools. One will be like, if you're feeling out of sorts or whatever, like going back to the image of, what's a safe place or comfortable place for you. For me, it's this chair on the beach in Grand Cayman, right? I'm just like, oh, love it. And then if you're feeling emotions and stuff like that, like what's kind of a container you can have so they don't just all come out at once. And so mine is this container I got that has this little valve, little water bottle that has a valve. So that may not make sense to you, but definitely research EDMR. I encourage you to look into BetterHelp if that's something that you want to find a therapist that matches with you, because they have so many different therapists and stuff too. I think therapy, yes, I know we all want insurances to pay for everything, but when you want a good therapist, sometimes you just don't want to even have to worry about insurances and stuff. So it's a good investment. Check it out. I will keep you up to date on how I do with these sessions, but I'm so excited to get to the next level and my journey of health and happiness. All right.